Hey guys, this is Sean from the Pompey Games Room. Thanks for checking out this quick review video here. Since my last video, which was the pickup video, I've had several emails in regards to the Nomad system which I compared the Retro Gen to. So I thought I would do a quick video on it to show you guys essentially what it is and what it does. Now for those of you that have never seen or heard of this handheld before, it was released by Sega in 1995. It was marketed as a portable Genesis Mega Drive and retailed for around about $180. It was never officially released in Europe or Australia, but by the time things like eBay became popular towards the end of the 90s, these little units slowly started appearing all over the place. The Nomad unit will play both Pal and Ntsc games, so the fact that this was only properly released to the Japanese market shouldn't really put you off getting hold of one of these systems, as they're pretty good handhelds. So we'll just turn the Nomad on now by switching this red button to the right here, and I'll let you take in the quality of sound that this little handheld has. Now I must apologise for that there, as the console was turned right down, but you can amend the volume throughout the game by scrolling through the volume dial, as you can see here. You can also amend the contrast on the screen by scrolling the dial on the opposite side of the system. In 1994, Sega released another handheld called the Sega MegaJet. The Nomad would later go on to replace this in 1995. The MegaJet was pretty much the same system as the Nomad, but was advertised as a semi-portable handheld due to the lack of screen. It was essentially a controller which games could be inserted to and then hooked up to a TV or monitor. The MegaJet started out on Japan Airlines as one way of entertaining passengers during long-haul flights, before an amended version was released to the handheld market in March 1994 at the price of $120. So following the MegaJet was the Nomad, which introduced a built-in backlit 3.25-inch LCD colour screen, as you can see here, which of course ended up adding to the power consumption of this unit. You could buy a detachable battery pack that would allow you to house 6 AA batteries, which you may think is great, but it only usually allowed you to play up to an hour depending on the brand of batteries used. So this thing went through batteries faster than anything back in the day, and would have been a drain on any kid's pocket money. Rechargeable batteries were not recommended for use with the Nomad due to voltage problems. I'm sure that Sega also saw this as an opportunity to sell bolt-ons for this unit, as they later released a rechargeable battery pack for an additional $79 further down the line. Just to let you know that this can also be powered using a 9-volt output, same as a Genesis or Mega Drive Model 2. So if you were at home, you could simply plug it into the mains and away you went. Now I'm just going to actually quickly show you that on the Nomad you can actually play 2 players. It had a built-in second controller slot, which if used would allow you to play 2-player games on the Nomad screen or via a link up to the TV with the AV output on the top of the unit. If you link the Nomad up to the TV with the AV cables, the Nomad would control player 1 on the screen. Player 2 would be controlled by the plugged-in controller to the Nomad system. So essentially, this made it possible for the Nomad to not just be a handheld, but also a fully functional home system as well. So you'll see here that I'm using the controller to control the lower part of the screen where Tails is. I'm shortly going to move on to the actual Nomad handheld itself and control the top part of the screen where Sonic is. So this will give you an idea of how 1 and 2 player would actually work on the system. This idea actually works pretty well, but I think to get the best out of it you really need to hook it up to the TV with the AV cable slot in order to get a better picture so you could both play it, as this small screen might not be able to take it if 2 people are trying to watch it and follow their character through the racing stages on this level. One of the only drawbacks from using this as a home console would have been the add-ons such as the 32X and the power base converter in particular. These would actually work with the aid of a third-party product that would allow them to fit into the handheld. So to use these add-ons, you would be looking at a further outlay to make them compatible with the handheld. As far as I'm aware, the Mega CD add-on for the Mega Drive will not work with a Nomad. This is due to a lack of connection, allowing the Mega CD to be attached to a Nomad. But I'm sure somewhere somebody has done a modification so that it was possible to play Mega CD games on your handheld unit. So in summary of this unit, I would say it's a brilliant attempt by Sega to try and get a winner in the handheld market, much in the same way Nintendo did with the Game Boy. Although this thing beat the Game Boy hands down on things such as the backlit screen, library of graphically better games, and 2-player compatibility without the need for a link cable, It was owned by the Game Boy in battery life, size, and release date, with the Game Boy being released right at the beginning of the 16-bit era in 1989. It saw off systems from both Atari and Sega in the coming years. If this Nomad system had been released instead of the Sega Game Gear, which itself would go on to sell 11 million units in its lifetime worldwide, the Nomad would have had a much better following, as it would have had time to build its reputation. And who knows, it could have led to many variations in the future, as the Game Boy has seen. The one drawback that I can see if this system had been released instead of the Game Gear is that it probably wouldn't have included a 6-button controller. The 6-button was a massive hit during the mid-90s due to the resurgence of fighting games, and had this unit been released in the early 90s, it would have been geared up to play more side-scrolling games such as Sonic. The Game Boy would go on to sell over 30 million units in its lifetime, with the Nomad just managing to make the 1 million mark. But it was discontinued as the 16-bit era came to an end, with the PlayStation, N64 and Sega Saturn leading the way into the new look future of console gaming. So really the Nomad was released just that little bit too late by Sega. It's a great thing to have for any Sega or 16-bit gaming fan, but doesn't come cheap, as usually on eBay it can fetch up to £100 unboxed, £150 plus if boxed. So if you just want to play Sega games on the go, I would highly recommend that you source either a retro gen, as I spoke about in my pickup video before this, or any of the other handhelds that run the emulated files, which can be picked up from £20 to £30. Also, just to warn you that the Nomad has excellent sound quality, and that many of these clone systems don't. So if you want to do the games justice, I would definitely try and get hold of one of these Nomad systems. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here soon.